What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You guys join me for a quick look at this beautiful 2022 BMW X5 M50i. I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Leesburg Buick and GMC here in the Washington, D.C. area for allowing me to film this beautiful X5. It is for sale in their pre-owned lot. I'll have all of their information in the description box below if you're interested. But if you guys are unfamiliar, this is the G05 generation of the BMW X5. It was launched for the 2019 model year, I believe. It competes with stuff like the Porsche Cayenne, the Mercedes GLE, Audi Q7, I guess, if you want to consider that generally the same size. But in my opinion, the X5 is the best looking out of all of those competitors, if you will. I love that this one is optioned with the BMW laser lights. You can see the kind of blue outline in them as well. Gives really amazing visibility. And I love the lower part of this front bumper. I do believe that this front splitter right here is aftermarket. I don't think that's a factory option, but it suits this car very well. Also, I do believe that these kidney grills are active, if you will. So these shutters in the actual kidney grill will open and close depending on how much cooling the engine actually needs, which is pretty nice. You can see there's some permanent kind of opening mesh cooling right there as well. I do believe you have some sensors right there for the adaptive cruise control. I want to apologize also in advance that this car was washed very recently, but the pollen in the area is just crazy right now. It's the middle of spring, so already this car is getting a dusting of yellow pollen, you can see here. But this car is also optioned with this beautiful set of 22-inch rims here. I do believe, because this is the M50, you have upgraded brakes as well. I do believe those are 4-piston front calipers as well. I really like the red paint on them as well, and you also have a little bit of an M logo right there. This car is fully blacked out, obviously. Black exterior paint, the black rims, as well as the black window trim. I would assume that's part of a night package or something like that, but I would have to double check. And if we continue along to the rear of the X5, I really like how this looks as well. If we go ahead and unlock the truck, you can see the full LED tail lights. Obviously, they're just flickering due to the camera, obviously. This spoiler, I'm not sure if it's factory or not either. I would assume it's not, due to the front splitter being aftermarket as well. But if we continue along, you can see the massive exhaust pipes. Because it's the M50 with the V8, you have quad exhaust. You can see there's 2 in there, as well as 2 on the passenger side as well. Go ahead and pop the trunk of the X5. This actually has a split tailgate design. So first you want to open the top part, as you can see, like so. It's fully powered, and then to lower the bottom part, there's this button right here you can press to do so. And once it's fully open, you can see you have around 34 cubic feet of cargo space back here with the rear seats up, but 74 cubic feet with them folded down. So this car is insanely practical. You have room for a ton of stuff back here. If you need even more space, BMW makes the X7, which is a kind of a bigger version of this car with a 3rd row, but in my opinion, this is plenty of space. You can see there's also a little bit of storage under here with the full-size spare tire as well. And once you're ready to close it up, you can see you can press the same button like so to close the bottom part. And once that's finished, you can go to the top and press this button like so. Let's go ahead and hop inside the X5. This is the BMW Smart Key Access. I love the kind of M stripe right here on the side of the key. It has a very nice feel to it overall. It fits nicely in your pocket. You have unlock, lock, as well as the trunk button. But this car also has a Smart Key Access, obviously. So all you have to do is just come up to the handle and pull behind like so to unlock. As you can see, this X5 has the full black leather interior with some very nice kind of white accent stitching throughout. You can see the carbon fiber trim right there, the interior ambient lighting. You also have 2-person memory for the front driver and passenger seats. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat and check out the rest of the interior of the X5 here. So as you step in, you're greeted by this beautiful customizable digital 12.3-inch instrument cluster right here. You also have the 14.9-inch iDrive infotainment display. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. All you have to do to fire it up is put your foot on the brake and hit the button right here. Under the hood of the X5 M50 is a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8. In this SUV, it makes 523 horsepower and 553 foot-pounds of torque. It is the kind of the step below the X5M, if you will, but performance is definitely not lacking. 0 to 60 is right around 3.9 seconds. It does a quarter mile in low 12s. This thing weighs around 5,300 pounds. It is full-time all-wheel drive. Obviously, it has an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is rated at 16 city, 22 highway for 18 combined. But if you guys couldn't already tell, this is an absolute monster of a motor. They basically use a derivative of this same engine in the X5M, the full-fat, performance version of this car. Although I think it's called the S63 as opposed to the N63. But nonetheless, still a ton of performance on tap with this SUV. Now that the car's a little bit more warmed up, let's go ahead and give it some revs. We'll go ahead and put it in a sport mode. I'm not sure if that really does anything, but nonetheless, we'll give it a few revs. Like I mentioned before, right in front of you is the 12.3-inch virtual instrument cluster. There's not a ton of customization here. This is kind of the standard view with the map in the center, as well as some audio information on the right here. If you want kind of a full screen map and stuff like that, you have to kind of get a newer model X5 with the updated displays, unfortunately. But if we continue along here, like I said, this is the 14.9-inch iDrive infotainment display. It is a touchscreen as well, so you can go through the various menus like so. There is obviously the standard iDrive control wheel down here if you don't want to use the touchscreen capability, with a couple shortcut buttons for media, home. Obviously, you have a dedicated back button here as well. Continuing along here, obviously, these are the climate controls. I love that most of them are buttons, so they're not kind of buried in the infotainment display there. You have a dedicated volume knob right here, but one of the other really cool things of this car is that it has a BMW gesture controls. So if you want to turn the radio up, you can actually just use your finger and kind of go like this and twist it in a circle. So I think that's pretty cool, but I think most people are just going to reach for the volume knob there. And you have a little bit of storage under here with some cup holders, a USB charging outlet. This is the selector, obviously, for the 8-speed automatic. I think it is a crystal shifter, which looks pretty cool. You have an X kind of right there for the BMW model, if you will. But all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and pull down to put it into drive. And as you can see, we're ready to go. If you want to put it in reverse, you push up like so. You have the full 360 camera. You also have the backup assistant that will help you kind of remember a direction you took into a certain parking space, which is pretty cool. And obviously, to put it in manual mode, you pull it back into drive and kick it over into the left. And one of the other cool little design touches is that you try to put the vehicle in park in the manual mode, it'll actually move itself over, which is pretty cool. You also have a couple buttons to the left of the shifter here. As you can see, the top button for traction control, the camera settings, the parking sensors, auto start stop, the actual engine start button. You have a couple drive mode buttons right here for sport, comfort, as well as Eco Pro. You have the auto hold feature for stoplights and stuff like that, as well as the electronic parking brake release. The center console here is nicely stitched in leather. You open it with this button right here, and you also have a USB-C charging outlet. You also have a full panel moonroof right here, which looks pretty good. Obviously, the shade is open right now, but if you want to go ahead and close the shade, there's this button to go ahead and do so. Taking a look at the rear seat of the X5, we go ahead and open the door like so. You can see this one is optioned with the kind of manual sunshades, if you will, that look pretty good. Obviously, they retract into the door. Same carbon fiber trim, interior ambient lighting. If you go ahead and actually just take a quick seat back here, you can see there is a fair amount of room. I am over 6 feet tall, and I have about an inch or two to the front driver's seat, kind of in a standard driving position. You have a USB-C charging outlet. I think this is a mount for having like an iPad or like a rear seat entertainment right here, which is pretty cool. You also have some climate controls back here, as well as a little bit of storage, cup holders, obviously, and in the center console. But overall, guys, the interior of the X5 is very, very nice. One other thing I forgot to mention is that there is a heads-up display right there for a little bit of speed information. But nonetheless, a very, very nice place to be. I love the materials, leather stitching everywhere. I think it is well worth the kind of $90,000 price tag that this thing was when it was new. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and turn the car off here and conclude the video. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick look at this gorgeous 2022 BMW X5 M50i. I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out again to Leesburg Buick and GMC here in the Washington, D.C. area. This X5 is for sale, like I said, and I'll have all of the information for it listed in the description box below. But if you did enjoy, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.